What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Mindset Matters podcast. Guys, I don't know. I done lost count and lost track of what episode we on, but I usually just try to do an episode when something comes to mind for sure, at least. And man, I was just thinking today and reflecting, and what hit me was like you have a story to tell. So that's what we're gonna be talking about in this episode. So y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, send down any other questions or topics you would like for me to discuss, man, and I'll get to it. But just to jump things off, man, yeah, I was just thinking, um, man, you have a story to tell. I was reflecting just on my life and just my journey to where I am now. And of course, I'm still striving and on the journey because I haven't reached the destination that I want to yet, of course. And we know how that goes with success, and we just going and going because we know there's something better out there. There's a better opportunity. There's always something more that we can do. There's always something more for us to do. And yeah, I was just like, dang, just everything I experienced up until this point, everything that I was just trying to do up until this point. And I was like, man, I got a lot of stories to tell now. I got a lot of stories to tell. And that's just something that comes with life. You're going to have a bunch of stories to tell. As long as you live, you're going to have something to say. You're going to have different experiences that either can be funny, that can help somebody. Of course, you look at it as a testimony to where you came from and where you are now. But me just even thinking, I'm like, dang, I got a bunch of stories to tell now, just with my journey, my experience with life, and just where I am now, and still not at the destination I want to be, but I know it's coming. So, but yeah, man, you got a story to tell. You got a story, because I can just think back on, and just really thinking back on trying to get into rooms, trying to knock at doors and hope somebody will let me in. Or the saying, instead of sitting at someone's table, build your own table. And that's what I found myself doing, trying to get in basically where I don't fit in. And sometimes that happens in life. Sometimes we're trying to sit at people's tables where we don't fit in. Sometimes we're trying to knock and get into rooms where you just don't fit in. And that's okay. That's okay, because of course you can go create your own room and welcome in whoever you want to welcome in, or you can go build your own table and let people sit whoever you want to sit. And one thing it got to be is that it's the right fit. And I really saw myself trying to sit at tables with people where I don't fit. Just because we're doing the same thing, it's still got to be the right fit. Just being in basketball, certain teams, you get a certain player, this player could be really, really good, but he don't fit the system. And that's what a lot of times we get caught up in, because we see the talent, we see the skill, but that doesn't mean that person fit the system. It doesn't fit the system. And I've seen a lot of great players ended up really not really having the career they want. And then you see players like, LeBron, you see players like LeBron, wherever he went, he was the system, because he was more than just a scorer. He was more than just a rebound. He was more than just a shooter. He was more than just all these things, but he just made a difference, and he made the system work. You can go on even with college, and you see like certain players don't fit this system. It's like, and you see a lot of kids transfer all the time because you gotta fit a system, and that's why I found myself pretty much wanting to do something. But then when I actually think about it, it's like, dang, do I see myself hanging with these people daily? Do I see myself getting together with these people often? And it's like, even though we're doing the same thing, or I'm trying to do what they're doing, that don't mean I'm a good fit for them. And I think sometimes we get caught up in trying to fit in. Even when we get older, When you're young, you're always trying to be around people and think you're trying to fit in, and we don't realize we do the same when we get older, because we have different passions, we have different things that we want to strive to work towards and stuff like that, and we just don't realize that you don't fit in with them, and that's okay. Because you can stay in your own lane, or you can create your own table. You can build your own table and invite whoever you want, or you can eventually run into the right people in due time. You'll run into the right people. And I was just thinking about my life, man, and just knowing like, hey, you have a story to tell. Like literally, that's what came to me, and it's like I was talking to myself. It's like, man, Dart, you have a story to tell. You do. You have a story to tell. Everything that you tried to do, everything that you were continually doing, even though you didn't fit in at that time and with them, through experience, God gave you stories to tell. Because I know sometimes most of us were waiting for that right opportunity, or we trying to continue to climb that ladder of success. And it's one of those things like, man, just think of everything that you've been through, everything that you went through, good or bad. And it's like, you got a story to tell now. God gave you ammunition. He gave you something to talk about, whether good or bad, because you got to think that testimony can be from bad to good. You don't never want that testimony to be backwards, but sometimes it can happen for some people where everything's going good and end up bad, and then it goes right back good. Like just everything you experience and go through in life, you have a story to tell. And it's just in due timing where you can tell people this story. And it almost really just relates to how a book is with chapters. And we've seen it all the time before, like how your life, this is just a chapter of your life and different things like that. And it's like, it's really a real thing when you think about it. Like here I am, 30 years old, and remember trying to be a motivational speaker at like 2021. And I never really been through so much. I never really went through anything when I was younger, at least enough to talk about. I had some struggles in school and stuff that I could talk about, but I knew that wasn't like, for me, that wasn't really the more passionate thing I wanted to talk about, because, just feeling a little embarrassed and stuff like that. But in due time, just helping kids, like then they can understand like, hey, I was in your shoes before, look where I am now, type of thing. And I was still going through the process at 21, but now at 30, I just look back, I'm like, man, I got a bunch of stories to tell. Some funny, some sad, some mad, some happy. So it's like God gives us these life experience, like we go through these life experiences just to be able to tell our story, and in the end have that victory speech, in the end have that win. So man, I just wanted to get on here and tell y'all, man, you have a story to tell. Don't worry about where you don't fit in. Don't worry about who not opening the door when you're knocking on it. Don't worry about who's not letting you at their table. Hey, like they say, go create your own table, and then you can invite whoever you want. Just make sure you fit in. Just make sure people fit the description in which you're trying to do. Just make sure it's relatable, because sometimes we try to get in with people and their life don't relate to mine. Their life don't relate to ours. It's like, I can't take advice from this person when their situation don't match my situation. But there's people out there which you will see their situation match your situation perfectly. And it's like, all right, if they can do it, I can do it. Dang, if they did it this way, that means it could work for me too. Just because their situation match your situation, and you can take inspiration off of that. But man, that's all I wanted to do. Get on here short and sweet, man, just to let you know you got a story to tell. Just reflecting. I think I got like just being 30 throughout my whole 20s, man, going through some rough times, some tough times, and then going through some good times. Man, I got a lot to tell, and that's just the power of testimony as well. Just your testimony can help somebody that feel like they can't make it out, that feel like they got to try to fit in somewhere where they don't. And it's like, dude, like, look what you can do. Look what you can do. You don't have to try to be something you're not to try to fit in with people who probably wouldn't hang out with you in the first place. It's like create your own lane. It's okay. Or eventually you'll run into the people on that same road and a situation match your situation. So, but man, that was something that just hit me out of nowhere. Like, you got a story to tell, and as long as you live, you're gonna continue to have a story to tell. Like I said, whether good or bad, it's a testimony. Because eventually, as long as you keep living, you've been surviving. You survive. As long as you keep living, you can tell it. You can tell that story. Because in the good times, in the bad times, eventually during those bad times, you get to see those good times as long as you live. As long as time goes on, you're going to get to witness the good times too. That's why it's not, never give up. That's why you should never give up. Because in the midst of that storm, in the midst of the bad time, you will start seeing how life gets better. And you'll only know it'll get better as long as you keep living. So, but yeah, man, it's a powerful thing. I can go on and on about that, but yeah, just that's one reason I started Mindset Matters, man, because now I try to speak what comes to mind, and make sure it has value, make sure it has meaning and stuff like that. But just reflecting on my life where I am now, I'm thankful that God allowed me to create my own lane. I'm thankful that God allowed me to create my own table, build my own rooms to now help people that probably don't even know they have a certain gift that I can, recognize or do things like that. So, but that's all I have, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, I mainly been posting on YouTube. If you're a podcast person, you can find the Mindset Matter podcast on all the streaming services as well, where podcasts are. But that's all I have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.